Hello there, it's Amber here. I've made it my New Year's resolution to reach 21 subscribers on Patreon in 2021, and I need you, yes you, to help make that happen. We truly depend on the kind monthly contributions of listeners like you to help us keep our small independent operation going. So if you would have the means, we hope you'll head on over to our page at patreon.com/bndpod to see our tiers and subscribe at whatever level works best for you. Not only will you get perks like 2 extra episodes a month, early ad-free episodes, and access to our monthly newsletter, but you'll also help unlock special extra episodes on our main feed with every 5 new subscribers we add. Sound good? Then again, we hope to see you soon at patreon.com/bndpod. Later all. Page 23, May 21st, 2021. Hello all, and we welcome you to the Book Nerd Diaries, the podcast where we dive deep into the latest books we've crossed off of our endless to-read list. Please watch out for spoilers ahead all, and let's get our book nerd on. Do you believe in soulmates? They certainly seem like a wonderful concept at the very least. From a lifetime of consuming media of every type, it seems like deep down, everyone wants to believe there is one person in the universe who understands them completely. This person would instinctively know your every need before you even say it, just as you would theirs. They would love many of the same things you do, yet have all the complementary personality traits we lack, being able to make up for all our own perceived failings. They truly see you with every single flaw and virtue of your being, and accept you completely without a single judgment. With the never-ending complexity of the human condition, who wouldn't want to have that one single person whom they can always turn to without fail in good times and bad? In our incredible book for today, Middlegame by Seanan McGuire, we explore the concept of soulmates in their absolute purest form, and what it means to truly be one half of a whole. Not only the joy of someone with whom you can share every part of your life, but also the fear and trauma of knowing that your very existence lies in the palm of their hands. As our book begins, we come upon a harrowing scene. A young man named Roger, sitting vigil beside his critically injured twin sister, Dodger. After all the two have been through together, he can't bear the thought of losing the most important person in his life, and so, in desperation, he goes to his last resort. He bends down to her, and with a whisper in her ear, commands her to get up. With this, Dodger's eyes shoot open, now sparkling a brilliant gold, and the world around them goes blinding white. This, Roger knows, is the end. Next, we head back in time to October 1886 via a flashback. A powerful alchemist named Asphodel is preparing her latest wonder, a man formed of carefully collected and assembled human remains, to serve as her companion, servant, and successor. She draws a series of runes all over his body, utters an incantation, and watches as her perfect creation opens his eyes. 100 years later, in 1986, that same man, now named James Reed, is presenting his latest project to a group of wealthy potential investors. 3 sets of genetically engineered twin children, who together have the powers to potentially control the very fabric of the universe itself. After this meeting, he meets with his assistant and assassin, Lee, who tells him that a new set of baby twins have been quote-unquote extracted from their mother. She wishes to keep these cuckoos, as they are called, under lock and key here at the lab to exert greater control over them, but Reed very firmly insists that they must be kept apart and allowed to come into their powers on their own. Just then, an alarm sounds in the lab, and he rushes in to see what could be wrong. There, he finds the giant astrolabe dwarfing the rest of the room, spinning wildly out of control, telling him that one of the sets of cuckoos has just reset their timeline. The impossible city, he says with triumph, is theirs. Just a few years later, in 1993, that same set of twins find themselves coming together in ways they could not have imagined. Young Roger Middleton is struggling to complete his latest math homework, as it has always been his toughest subject. He far more prefers reading whatever books he can get his hands on, which I can totally relate to. And so he is just about ready to give up his worksheet in favor of a good book, when he suddenly hears a girl's voice speaking to him in his head. She tells him the answer to the first question on his sheet, then offers to help him with the rest of the problems as well. Roger fears that this may be a sign he is losing his mind. But he's also not one for looking a gift horse in the mouth, as it were, and so he accepts. After finishing the worksheet with her help, the girl's voice introduces herself as Dodger, and she asks Roger if he might have any more math homework, as numbers are her favorite thing in the world. Roger replies no, but that in exchange for her help, he will teach her about metaphors, as language is Dodger's weak spot and Roger's specialty. That night, Dodger appears again in his head, as she cannot sleep. To both of their surprise, Dodger says that she can see what Roger sees through his eyes, and Roger instantly heads over to the nearest mirror to show her his face. The next day, Roger receives his completed math homework from his teacher, Miss Lewis, and is amazed to find that, with Dodger's help, he has gotten a 100% score on it. Instantly, he excuses himself from the room and hides in the janitor's closet. There, he reaches out to Dodger through their psychic connection and thanks her for her help. In turn, he sees through Dodger's eyes that she is struggling with her English homework and helps her with it. From there, the pair form a powerful unspoken bond that transcends the fact that they apparently live on opposite sides of the country, which they refer to as a quantum entanglement. As the years go by, the two will fall apart and come together again, their lives irrevocably linked even as they are made to doubt each other's very existence. Little do they know that this impossible bond between them is the product of something far darker than they could have realized. As James reads Cuckoos, he and Lee have been keeping close tabs on them their entire lives, and are waiting patiently in the shadows for them to either fail or succeed in their mission of bringing them to their final destination, the impossible city. This book first came to my attention due to my love of author Seanan McGuire's lovely series, Every Heart a Doorway. I was, of course, expecting something equally wonderful and fantastical this time around, and I was certainly not disappointed at all. This book is certainly everything I could have ever asked for, yet nothing I could have ever expected, all at the same time. I actually had the pleasure of reading Middlegame for the first time a while back, but this book is such an absolute feast of a novel that it warranted a reread to parse it all. Every single detail of the plot is meticulously thought out and put together in such a way that your mind reels with emotions and theories when you're finished. The story mixes elements of science fiction and fantasy in a dark and delicate balance throughout its narrative, until the point where everything breaks apart like an overwound clock spring. Like Alice falling down the rabbit hole, it's hard to tell sometimes which direction you are even going as you read. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's mad here. In the end, I would highly recommend this book to anyone who is looking for magic, science, and adventure all rolled into one. I think people who love traditional fantasy will love the whimsical-sounding concept of the impossible city, and people with incredible powers pursuing it. I think sci-fi fans will appreciate the Frankenstein feel of people being genetically engineered in a lab to be super soldiers. For the action-adventure lovers, there's the thrill of a desperate cat-and-mouse chase between our two heroes and their villainous creators. There's even an element of horror, with Lee's incredibly gruesome work as an assassin. Here, I would like to give you a quick heads up that some moments in this book might be disturbing for some readers, so please be sure to check out the content warnings in our show notes before reading Middlegame for yourself. Self-care is crucial, folks. No matter what expectations you might have for this book, you can simply throw them out the window right away, because you are in for quite the ride, I assure you. With that, folks, we have reached the end of our main discussion for today, but worry not, there's still more show to come after this quick break. Are you an author, fellow podcaster, or small business owner looking to spread the word about your product or service? Then let us help you. We offer a number of affordable monthly advertising packages in various price ranges, so if you'd like to hear your ad here in future episodes, please head on over to our page at ko-fi.com/bndpod and click on the Shop tab to see what works best for you. Again, that's ko-fi.com/bndpod. Then click on the Shop tab. We can't wait to work with you. Welcome back, all. Now that we're on the other side of our break, let's head to that nerdiest part of our show, the Trivia Corner, where we give you a trivia question related to today's book. As Dodger, one of the protagonists of Middlegame, is a chess master, our question today is all about the game of chess. Ready? Your question is: the phrase checkmate is derived from the Persian phrase shamat, which translates to what? A. Long live the king. B. Farewell to the king. Or C. The king is dead. Your answer is C. The king is dead. The original Persian phrase shamat translates to the king is captured. Later, however, when the game of chess reached Europe, the Persian word mat was conflated with the Arabic word mata, which means dead. Whichever translation you go with, it birthed the most famous phrase ever uttered, and arguably one of the most legendary board games in history: checkmate. Our sources for this question were Wikipedia and thechessworld.com. This concludes our episode for today, folks. Before we go, though, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Julie and Katie, aka one of the very best sisters a podcaster could ask for being our amazing subscribers on Patreon. We can't possibly do what we do without your kind monthly support. Also, my deepest gratitude goes out to everyone who has shared our posts on social media, left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or told the book and podcast lovers in their lives about us. Our show depends on word of mouth to help us reach more ears, and every little bit helps. Next week, Friday, May 28th, we'll be releasing a brand new bonus episode just for our dear $5 and up Patreon subscribers. And then we'll be right back here in 2 weeks to open another entry in the Book Nerd Diaries. See you then! The Book Nerd Diaries and the associated shows are written, edited, hosted, and researched by me, Amber Wilchin. A special thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the use of our theme song, The Show Must Be Go, and Sincerely Media on Unsplash via Anchor for our wonderful cover art. If you would like to connect with us online, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at BNDPod, Facebook at Book Nerd Diaries, or via our website at bndpod.wordpress.com. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future episodes to send my way, please feel free to drop me an email anytime at bndpod@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, everyone, please take care of yourselves and each other. Stay off the impossible road, and always keep on reading.